All right, in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to turn your brand into a television network. Content marketing, which I believe is the most critical form of marketing in 2025. Organic storytelling, repeatable formats, owned by the brand and distributed by owned channels. What works, you scale. What doesn't work, you phase out and repeat. So in this video, we're gonna look at what channels to distribute that content from, the nuances of each popular social media channel, what goals we want our content to achieve, our campaigns, what types of content to create, our formats for videos specifically. And we'll do this for Dose, a tallow fried potato chip brand that is pre-launch, so we have a working example to create a case study from. So let's go a little deeper here. Grab some spuds with your buds, eat tallow fried potato chips. When I say turning a brand into a television network, I mean this figuratively, but the sentiment is the target. Nonetheless, our brand isn't going to start broadcasting on local cable. Still, our intention will be to create and distribute content like a network does. And a network has formats like skits, series, spin-offs, specials, documentaries, live broadcast like the news, and more. Becoming a television network or a media company allows us to quickly create and distribute a variety of content. This leads to quickly discovering what connects with our audience and what content leads to the audience spending substantial amounts of time with our brand, which, depending on our desired outcome, will turn the audience into customers, all without committing lofty amounts of capital to channels to distribute that content. The idea here is also not to break the bank on the content created. The television shows or content ideas we will ideate in this episode will be cost effective and produced with a minimal time and dollar budget. We'll scale formats that work by increasing the creative and cost, and we'll kill or cancel the shows that don't. This is the majority of the client work I'm executing this year. As a creative strategist, building brands' content strategies for campaigns with the larger vision being to turn the brand into a television network by concepting formats, skits, and series with distribution plans across social channels. Every company now must be a media company. Distribution channels must be owned, content must be created by a small, dedicated team, and the time from ideation to execution must be minimal. Just a quick breakdown of the model for a traditional television network. Television networks create original content for target demographics, sell ad space to advertisers for revenue. Revenue from advertisers minus the cost to produce the original content equals profit. This is the brand equivalent. Create original content for target audience, sell product to target audience. Revenue from products sold minus the cost to produce the content and the cost of goods sold equals profit. Ka-ching. This is attractive because when the brand becomes that television network, there's no cost to distribute the created content, only the cost to produce it. And it's fun and novel. There aren't many brands accomplishing this style of marketing in 2025. Not yet, at least. Let's look at the distribution channels. We start here and not with the concepts because these platforms have robust and sophisticated algorithms that can inform us what type of content to create with our new brand. For a brand like Dose and for a launch campaign, my suggestion to a client and to myself would be go narrow and deep on one platform and really master the art and algorithms for the platform that offers the most upside. Nonetheless, let's break down all distribution channel options so that we can decide which represents the best opportunity for return. YouTube. This will be our most broad content platform, casting the widest net. As I've learned from my friend Patty Galloway, YouTube is about packaging, titles, and thumbnails. All of Dose's content that is dedicated to this channel must appeal to 80% of our target audience, 80% of the time. Great overlap between videos. This means viewers of our YouTube channel must be able to binge watch our videos, which is a primary goal across all platforms. Further, we don't create YouTube videos without a strategy for titling, thumbnails, and our key images, which is the package. We need titles that hook, thumbnails that must be clicked, and quickly create a promise at the start of each video that will be delivered in the end. Instagram, specifically Reels. Here we want to be most dedicated to our bucket or style of content that we create for a specific audience's interest. High production value seems to be increasing in popularity and performance, so we'll keep in mind staging productions just to create content for IG Reels. The audience will be most engaged with formats with consistent look and feels, like this example from a fictional coffee shop in Brooklyn, New York. We want to be the best and most consistent in our bucket or style because Instagram will prioritize our content in that algorithm and will quickly become ubiquitous. TikTok. Across all platforms, I lack the most knowledge in TikTok, so I studied up before recording this video. Per my research, TikTok is different from Instagram. Low production value, incredibly niche, and focused. Vulnerability does well, sharing directly to camera, which may make this the best place for iPhone videos with little preparation. Here's what's happening, and here's the impact it's having on the business, and this is how we're going to persevere. Now watch us persevere in 59 seconds. Let's move on to the campaign goals. What do we want our content to accomplish? Well, for Dose, we're creating a 60-day campaign to launch the brand. And on the 30th day, bags of chips are available for purchase. 30 days pre-launch, 30 days post-launch. plenty of time to create interest and capitalize on the interest created. So how do we decide whether or not all this original content was worth it? By setting targets. Bag of chips sold. Let's set the target at 5,500 bags between day 30 and day 60 of the campaign, 183 bags a day. And then more aspirationally, build an ardent and engaged following with our brand. We can quantify this by followers on social media and engagement with our original content. Shares, saves, then likes. Our campaign goals are a blend of awareness, sales, and we'll need content dedicated to each, which brings us to what types of content to create. 4 factors to consider here. Number 1, the platform. We discussed this above and created a framework based on historical performance on these channels for what type of content to create. And we'll follow this as we continue on concepts for each channel. Number 2, the brand identity. Dose is a snack item using tallow to replace seed oils and frying for a healthier potato chip. The brand is a touch whimsical, quite nostalgic, playful, and colorful. It's a type of brand and product you'd see a commercial for in the 90s or early 2000s. Our content needs to personify the brand and visual identity. Number 3, the product. Bags of tallow fried potato chips. And number 4, why this content? We're creating this content to build an audience that leads to customers purchasing our product. Let's start with the hero content, our primetime show, which for our brand and business model, Instagram and TikTok offer the quickest opportunity for upside. So we should create formats that can be distributed on both. Here are our qualifications for our hero content on Instagram. Number 1, creativity over production value. Number 2, 70% of content created can be distributed across all channels. Number 3, delivers on value proposition of the product. Number 4, produced by a small team. Number 5, 60% awareness, 40% sales. More awareness equals more sales. And number 6, repeatable. Let's concept 2 pieces of hero content for Instagram. Concept 1, a meal with the Moffats. Dose is a co-creation between myself and Sam Moffat of Suretail Creek Farm in Brenham, Texas. Suretail Creek is responsible for Texas's greatest eggs. The farm is idyllic, with wildflowers in the spring, thousands of frolicking chickens, grass-fed cows, and the unique dynamics of his family, raising his 2 children on this farm. Sam regularly takes his 11-year-old son, Django, hunting, and they always harvest the meat for a meal, even squirrels. Now this could be quite polarizing, which is good. So in this potential hero content, Sam and Django hunt and harvest an animal for dinner. The animal is prepared for the family on the farm. Beautiful establishing shots and detailed shots of the farm. The meal is served and enjoyed by the family, always with a side of Dose. Detailed shots of the prep and the cooking, happy faces during the family dynamics. Now this could be primarily quiet with limited dialogue and the ambient sounds of the activity, or carried by Sam's musing on this style of harvesting your own meat. Both would be tested and the one that performs will continue. So it's of the land, like Dose. It shows the product consumed in a family setting, and it's definitely repeatable during our 60-day campaign as an awareness piece of content. We create 6 episodes for our 60-day campaign, produced in-house by our team for a budget of $300 per episode or $1,800 for the campaign. Now, it could be a little serious for Dose, so for Concept 2, let's try and create something radically different. Concept 2, a Dose Sammy shop. Borrowing from the BK Coffee Shop skit, Concept 2 could take place at an Austin farmer's market, where Suretail Creek Farm already has a booth, and create a TV show-like format of a cast of characters running a sandwich shop in which they always add Dose to the sandwich. In this potential hero concept, we cast 2 sandwich makers, outfit them in retro fast food worker wardrobe with Dose branding, and 1 special guest per episode. The special guest orders an intricate and complicated sandwich. The sandwich makers create the sandwich using all ingredients from the farmer's market and add Dose chips. They deliver the sandwich to the special guest, and the banter continues. This format is a bit looser. There will be some semblance of a script, but I'll rely heavily on the moments between the writing in which the characters are having fun with their roles. This concept features the product, involves the other farms, and will be easily recognizable because of the atmosphere and the 2 reoccurring sandwich makers. If we create 6 episodes for our 60-day campaign at $500 an episode, produced by our ceremony team, compensating the talent and getting creative with the wardrobe, we'll be at $3,000 for this concept. Both of these concepts are likely worth testing, leaning primarily towards awareness and have the potential to reach an audience. Because there is a higher level of production, both also create the opportunity for iPhone-produced behind-the-scenes content, which may outperform the actual pieces themselves. And that's okay. The purpose of the behind-the-scenes is to drive more views, more engagement to the produced pieces. Before we switch platforms, we'll also need some supportive content for our 60-day campaign, following the same rules of consistent look and feel. These formats are iPhone produced and made purposely less polished, which will be distributed via Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Because of the nature of these concepts, we can be less precious with the ideation phase. Here are a few that we're considering for Dose. Man on the street, stopping people on the street, asking them to eat just one dose chip, recording their reactions as they eat one chip, and instinctively reach for another. 4 to 5 participants per video. Those that participate will be gifted a bag of dose. Easy to produce 12 of these for the campaign. And then man on the street 2, stopping people on the street and asking them to reminisce about their favorite snack item as a kid. Then ask them if they'd eat it today, hopeful that they'd speak impassionately about avoiding it because of the ingredients featured. Purposefully nostalgic, and we'll cut to commercials of their favorite snack item in the video. Can feature 3 to 4 individuals per video and gift each participant a bag of dose. Again, easy to produce, just need an iPhone and a mic. We can record 12 of these for the campaign. Making dinner with tallow. 60-second iPhone video in which we create a dish that calls for seed oils and replace it with tallow. Serve the final dish with a bag of dose and boom. Easy to produce, and we can create 12 of these for our campaign. There is no cost associated with the supportive content, as long as we have a staff team to produce the concepts. I consider all 3 of these more subtly sales driven. If we're able to produce both hero concepts for Instagram, 1 dedicated BTS per video, and all of the supportive pieces, that's 50 pieces of dedicated Instagram content for this campaign. So we've created our dedicated Instagram videos for this campaign, keeping in mind that some formats will work, others won't. We'll follow the data to inform our creations as the campaign continues. Let's concept for YouTube now. Inherently, YouTube is a heavier lift, so we'll try to minimize the effort and production here for a channel that has a lower likelihood of impacting our 60-day campaign. Nonetheless, creating long-form videos provides an opportunity to clip into short forms and distribute on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok, although TikTok may be opposed to higher production value content. The majority of our effort has to be in the packaging of the videos, avoiding one-offs, working first on the title and the thumbnail of a concept. When we know we can create a thumbnail that stops the scroll and a title that must be clicked, only then do we produce the concept. There are 2 pieces of video content we're already producing regularly and have the means to continue to do so during this 60-day campaign. 1, solo casting. Currently, my solo casting is focused on brand building. However, we have this studio set up and can easily change the format to be a discussion about the harms of seed oils, bringing in packaged goods, reading ingredient lists, dissecting the harmful ingredients, and suggesting alternatives, similar to what Dr. Paul Saladino does for his personal channel and his brand lineage. This will also be effective in clipping and creating educational material around the better-for-you nature of dose and tallow as an alternative to seed oil. Producing 6 of these, with 8 shorts per long form in our 60-day campaign, is a modest and achievable target with a budget of $150 per upload to hire a proper thumbnail designer. That's $900 for the campaign that gets us 6 long forms and 48 shorts. Concept 2 for YouTube, the hero's journey. Dose has been a complicated launch, and we've covered the trials and tribulations in This Is Being an Entrepreneur, which was one of our top performing videos. What happens in these videos is already happening. Not much of it is fabricated for the camera, so it's easy to produce. Our focus has to be on making it compelling through the post-production. A banger intro that personifies the struggle, uses a promise as a hook, and delivers on the promise in the end. It's important to avoid it being episodic here. All videos must be watchable without being privy to what occurred in past uploads. Let's give this concept a similar budget for a thumbnail designer, increase just a little for some effects and post-production. $200 per episode for $1,200 for the campaign. 6 long-form videos and 42 shorts. If we're able to produce both during the lifetime of the campaign, that's 12 long forms and 90 shorts, which takes our total content to 140 uploads for a 60-day campaign. TikTok. If we follow the rules we set earlier based on what performs for this channel, then TikTok should be the least laborious of our 3 main platforms. The supportive ideas we created for Instagram will be distributed on this channel, as well as the BTS of the hero content. Here are some TikTok ideas. A stripped down version of our solo casting, available footage of snack items in the grocery store, and the floating head breaking down the harmful components of the nutrition facts. Behind the scenes of our formats for Instagram and YouTube, and a stripped down version of our This Is Being an Entrepreneur series. Essentially the same thing, but iPhone clips rather than what we capture in the cinema camera. And the most sales driven of our formats, friends, family, staff, or influencers talking directly to camera about their experience with the product. 1 upload per day for 60 days. Our total content count is now 200 uploads. A little bonus here because I've been creating campaigns since before social media was the most impactful distribution channel. And that meant making true commercials, or what today are called brand pieces. These brand pieces can be more expensive, and because our brand has no market association, no ability to identify it by content style or brand and visual identity, it's likely unnecessary for our launch campaign. Nonetheless, it's the most cinematic of pieces we'll do, and it's fun. So if we have the budget and the time, and we're not attached to the results, we might as well. Dose's brand piece or launch content will be vegan conversion therapy, depicting an Alcoholics Anonymous-like meeting in an antiquated church, in which a session leader helps a group rid themselves of their veganism and return to eating a diet that includes animal fats, tallow fried potato chips. This piece of content is 90s inspired, cheeky, and aligned with our overall content strategy, which will evolve as the brand grows, but it's the type of content we've built our brand and visual identity around. We won't include the cost of this film in our final breakdown of campaign cost. In summary, let's calculate our cost, imagining that we produce both hero pieces for Instagram, all supportive content, both hero long forms for YouTube, and all the TikTok concepts. For Instagram, Meal with the Moffats, our budget was $1,800 for the campaign. The Doe Sammy Shop, our budget was $3,000 for the campaign. No additional cost for Instagram. For YouTube, solo casting, $900 for the campaign. The Hero's Journey, $1,200 for the campaign. No cost associated with TikTok. The total cost of campaign content, all organic, all created in-house, is $6,900. It could be much less because this cost is only if we continue to create both hero pieces per platform after reviewing data 14 or 20 days into the campaign. Now, our target for the campaign was 5,500 bags. Dose had a soft launch last summer, and we sold 3,000 bags in 21 days at a 65% wholesale, 35% e-com blend. So let's use that data to calculate how we do from our first official campaign if we spend 7,000 on 200 pieces of video content. 3,575 bags sold wholesale for $6 a bag, $21,450. 1,925 bags sold on the website for $12 a bag, $23,100. This brings our total revenue to $44,550. This is created from 200 pieces of content for our launch campaign. Completely worth it. Turning a brand into a television network is quite a lofty exercise and requires a dedicated and nimble content team, preferably in-house. Larger content strategies for brands are important, but at Dose's stage, a content strategy must be broken down by campaign to understand what the audience will gravitate towards in the company's infancy. Nonetheless, turning Dose into a television network or a media company is a worthy expense and sets a precedent for the type of content pillars we'll continue to create as the company grows, something we'll cover in a future video. Thank you. Grab some spuds with your buds, eat tallow fried potato chips.